Clubhouse. Broad question: how does that map change with the new meta, new addition, new operators, new season, basically?
New season for the new ops. Granted, I haven't played it enough of the new ops to really know how things are going to change for that. As for existing ops, Maverick is going to see a harder ban than he usually does here. Granted, Maverick has always had a ban here. You might see him slip through here and there. But just because of the way the Maverick trick works, and now that he has frag grenades, now that he's just a little bit better, he's going to be a little bit bigger of an issue to get rid of. We could possibly see, and I would like to see, more Nook play on Clubhouse. She has a lot of potential, especially that, moving through moving through spots where you can leave the camera up and you can just scuttle through there and know that nobody's going to be there contesting you, and you can move your way back up and have one attacker roam around a little bit, just kind of on like a roam clear, and then you know that she's safe, especially with the way Clubhouse is laid out. And with the frag grenades now, she opens herself up to kind of some cheeky kills from underneath and things like that. So I don't think things are going to change drastically, but I would like to see a little bit more of that, a little bit more Nook play.
Well, thank you for this. While you were kind of describing the potential that Nook has, the underutilized potential that Nook has, she won't get banned, but I don't expect her to be picked either.
No, I don't see her getting picked at all. To be honest, I would like to see her get picked, but she probably won't. But as for the bans, though, pretty typical stuff.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Clubhouse has standard bans and is kind of getting more and more just crutch bans play style. I kind of feel like it gets stale because the best strat is the best by far compared to the second best, and as such it makes the plays pretty predictable. It just comes down to who has the best execution of the standard strategy.
So looking here though, picks again, now we have Goyo on the board, so not too surprised by that, especially with the narrow hallway of 90. You can cut off a lot of access through 90 with just one shield. So having him on the board, as well as the smoke grenades. Smoke has always been a very strong pick on this map. Same thing with Kaid. Kaid is just kind of built for this map. There's really no reason not to pick him.
Plus with the Thatcher ban, that electric claw, you can only send a Twitch round, and if you're already in Moto, there's no point in actually hoping to go down the hatch, assuming you just walk down the stairs. So absolutely, he is going to be uncontested for Moto at the very least. That electric claw, yeah, it's probably going to be pretty difficult to clear out as well.
Yeah.
So
now it will be interesting once Oryx is able to be played, because I think Oryx can definitely make his way into some sort of composition on Clubhouse in basement. You see how we have the smoke using a lot of these shotgun shells to blow open that section of wall? You can literally have Oryx create a couple rotation holes and then literally have him roam in and around, just from how easy he can move around up top and how he can move around in mid. So yeah, I can definitely see Oryx being used on this once he's able to be used.
What kind of does not what I kind of don't like about Oryx is the fact that he loses health. It just makes you weaker and weaker every time you use your gadget, And
but it's a balancing thing, right?
It makes sense. You don't want to be overusing it, but it kind of actually discourages you of kind of doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Now I would have liked him to have a gadget that worked that way, in the sense of like he's maybe wearing a vest that he can blow through a wall. Like there was some sort of gadget on him, rather than it's just some big burly dude busting through a wall. But that's a conversation for a podcast at some other point.
You know what? You want to go into Fantasyland? If he's taking damage when he's like flying through a soft wall, why aren't you taking damage when you're flying through a wall because of a Nomad air jab? Like
Yeah,
realistically, I'm not talking about
yeah, but-
balancing. You know, I'm talking about realism here.
No, yeah, 100%. But this game is not based in realism anymore. Like it never really was, but at the same time, it's a little bit less based in realism nowadays.
Which makes sense. You know, the gameplay or the actual enjoyment of the game is gonna have priority over the realism.
Yeah,
Some
exactly.
games will have that shtick. It's just not Rainbow Six's thing.
Exactly. But as we say that though, Legion is going to go upstairs. It is upstairs and very close.
What is the diffuser doing out here? Like, he gets the kill. Nicely done. Will destroy the drone, but the diffuser was plain in his sight, out of, you know, reach for the attackers, assuming he was kind of holding on there. But on the right side, we couldn't hear. It was Buck who destroyed that goo mine. Diffuser's been picked up. He should peek that now. I think he will. He'll be just barely seconds too late, but he's in a good position to flank. Will he do that? The attackers, they've already... Oh, they're... stuttering. They're down there.
Oh,
He does get the kill.
He goes upstairs and they're not watching the drop. He does manage to almost take another one, but Gecko
Did, yeah. Natural's now
down.
down. Hawks is in a 1v2, actually.
10 seconds left.
Like, he's not gonna run up there to the staircase, and he's not gonna get the kill, so he might frag out Gecko. Could just try to plant, but that was just a lost cause.
Just watched him. And Dio finally finishing him off. And as you see, Gecko with that STG-12 is just gonna rip his legs apart. So very aggressive start there. So what did we see? We saw the attackers do pretty decent clear. They were able to kind of get into position, drop down with a few hiccups here or there, but they did take full possession of site. But for some reason they decided, knowing that, you know, we have control of this, there could be somebody over and there could be somebody rotating around, we're going to plant right underneath hatch, which, granted, knowing where everybody is a smart idea. Not knowing where everybody is, you can technically maybe push over closer to tunnel, kind of get a little bit more cover. You have teammates in between you and where you're diffusing, rather than having that giant hole above you. So a little bit of a misread, not knowing where everybody is, and then moving a little bit too quickly. So I think PMDR did a very good thing of they let them push in, they didn't panic, and they just took full advantage of knowing exactly where everybody was. And unfortunately, Rip TP was just not able to really take full control of site at that point. They lost control without having it. So
Here's kind of like the big mistake I feel like Wegetfirstrounded committed. You had Legion that got her first kill as it's off floor, so attackers obviously knew he was there, and they decided not to care. You know, there's some merit sometimes to just ignoring a roamer and push the OBJ, but they should have at the very least watched their backs in doing so, which they did not, and it led to Legion getting Dio getting an easy kill, first of all, and second of all, the kill on the planter, the diffuser, making it so that it was next to impossible for Wegetfirstrounded to get that back, whatever they lost there, you know?
A careless play is the worst play, and unfortunately that was a bit of a careless play.
Yeah.
But as you see here, we have Firemeister going to be pushing into 90. He's going to be doing the clear, the typical Ash run in.
With the help of a drone, you know, so he's not just rushing in blindly.
No, and that's a smart play. You want your Ash to know as much intel running into these rooms as possible, and just like that, they have control. They have taken control of the remaining amount of top floor, and now they're pushing into site. So a very aggressive push coming in from Rip TP. So
who of the defenders is going to be in a good position to provide resistance here? Wiz, obviously, he's in the area, doesn't want to peek too hard. Same for Gecko, actually. You know, very strictly speaking, this side could be accessed by the attackers with minimal pressure. You know, you get smoke out, you just, I don't know, cup it, you don't have cup it, throw a frag grenade on the doorway to their hard right, and that could be sufficing cover fire to actually plant the diffuser. You know, Hawks is on site right now. He could be planting if he had the diffuser, and that's kind of a scary thing.
It is scary, but Resolve does get taken as well, but Firemeister does go for the refrag. But again, they have full control of site, and the Habana of Necktie is going to take him out, but Dio is going to finish him off as well. But it is down to a 4v1. Plant is going down, but it's going down to a very common spot. Is able to take out Dio with the frag, going for another one, and almost gets triple, but it not able to land his shots, and Hawks is able to get the final kill. And wow, that was pretty intense. That was pretty close. Almost
I was
lost it
kind
again.
of, yeah, I was starting to believe in that comeback.
It was very believable. And again, they almost did the same thing. Is they took control. They took full control of site. But at the same time, they just weren't clearing anything out. They just kind of wanted the remaining defenders to come to them, and they were planting in spots where they knew you can see there's a giant hole in the floor. I think at this point we should know. Just plant in somewhere where, yes, it might be default, but the rest of your team is fighting people where they have no idea where they are. Plant somewhere where it's going to be challenging for them to get you out of defuse, get you so therefore you can plant, and you're not worrying about, oh, he's going to be shooting from beneath, he's going to be shooting through this wall that's right next to me, he's going to be shooting, you know, like from a weird angle that he can see me from, rather than trying to find that one spot that you can easily just plant and not worry about anybody.
If I was to make a broad statement, I'd say it's not because the attackers are in the bomb site that they have actual control of the bomb site, and that even that does not mean that it's safe to plant.
Exactly.
It's exactly what we saw, right?
It is. When you have fake control, you are in the room, you do not have control because you're still trying to fight people to take control of the room. It'd be different if they were completely off site and there's nobody around, you're not in these gunfights. Then you have control because then you get in position, so therefore they can't push back in. That what they had was a tentative control or a fake control, so therefore that you're still fighting people. Nobody knows what's going on. They don't know where these guys are, and everyone's just trying to shoot through walls. And now you're trying to plant. Meanwhile, the defenders are roaming around downstairs, knowing exactly where you are because you're making all this noise.
Absolutely. If we were to jump into the third round here, I want to underline the presence of both Gecko and Wiz. So both combined together, they're going to make it pretty hard for the attackers to open up the reinforced wall. That's kind of to be expected, you know, with both Maverick and Thatcher being banned. I don't really expect that wall to be opened up or not in a timely manner. As such, heavy emphasis is going to be made on soft breaching. So Nitro's playing Sledge and Hawk is going to be playing Buck, who is going to be putting off a resistance against those two attackers. We're obviously going to go construction, as we can see here. Probably Wiz, Dio, and Peeps. Peeps also going to be playing Echo. Echo would have been another, say, default or predictable ban, but did not end up happening. And he's going to be making an appearance for the first time that round. And looking at it, both rounds are in a good position to see and prevent the attackers from coming in. That
Echo, Echo being as powerful an operator is now knows they are all in that room. But as we said that though, Nitro is able to take out Wiz, so that is your bandit gone. And again, it does seem right now that Rip is, they like to move very quickly and very fast as Firemeister takes out Exum. And Exum, and it is just down to Gecko and Dio and Peasy. As I said, though, Peasy does take a few shots though, and Resolved takes out Dio. It's down to a 5v2, and again, it does look very aggressive and very good for Rip. They are taking control, but can they get control? It does seem like they have a better idea now, though, of what they need to be doing, and they do now.
Being planted, he doesn't realize it. Sorry. Did he get it? I think no, he did. Yeah, he did.
He did, but now he's dead. So now it's just down to Gecko, but Gecko able to take out Hawks, but the plant does go down. So it's just down to him with his STG shotgun. He knows one's right over there by red stairs. So he's gonna hop down. He is, he just missed shot. That would have been an amazing shot. But unfortunately, Nitro shuts him down. And I was a lot better looking around. It just looks like he belly flopped into the ground and died.
Yeah, he shouldn't have jumped down from that balcony, but you know, on the flip side, what should he have done? To be honest, Hibana was watching the door.
Tough situation.
Yeah, you know, Hibana was in the window, so it's not really a doorway. I don't think there was an actual rotation in the wall, so he was just a sitting dog in a. Yeah. He was just dealing the inevitable, to be honest, at that point.
Yeah, he was just buying time. With the little amount of health he had. Probably didn't have too much ammo because I know with that shotgun they don't give you a lot of ammo.
It was down to 20 bullets.
Yeah, 20 bullets. Yeah, so they give you, I think they give you a total of 40 rounds. They don't give you a lot. I think they give you about 3 to 4 magazines to shoot from out of that gun.
Especially if you use the TSG-12 to open up a rotation. you can chew through your ammo so quickly. It's not even funny actually, and I don't even know if it's a way of balancing the gun, because you know you kind of expect shotguns to be used to open up rotation holes, and a gun such as an LMG might be used to go for crazy pre-fire wall bangs, but you're not going to do that with a shotgun. You know, you cannot just spray bullets down. So I don't exactly know why the gun doesn't have too much ammo. Probably because of the ACOG. Now that I'm taking.
Yeah, ACOG, and it's I wouldn't even it is considered a shotgun. It is a shotgun, but at the same time, it is a DMR. It's a DMR shotgun.
Yeah,
It is a long-range shotgun that does high damage. So yeah, you don't want the guy to have, you know, mags on mags on mags, being able to just lock down a hallway. You want to know that he's going to run out of ammo fairly soon. So
I would just open up a parenthesis real quick. Nishmash put a comment up about 2 minutes ago saying, yeah, I can show you what I've designed tonight after. Probably speaking to us, because everybody in the chat at that moment was talking in French, so it doesn't appear like he was like sustaining the conversation in the chat. But since it was 20 minutes ago, I'm totally out of context. But all right, let's see what you got afterwards. I just wanted to acknowledge the comment and also acknowledge that I have no idea what he's actually saying.
I have no idea as well. I like to play blissfully. I like to be blissfully unaware. But as we see, one Goyo shield is easily dispatched of. And it does look like Rip TP is being their typical aggressive selves. So they are going to be pushing upstairs, going to be taking control of...
What is Firemeister doing? He gets the first kill. Oh, refrag immediately. That had some potential, to be honest. You know, it was a firefight short of him actually.
He did do some good. He did do decent damage on Goyo. Not able to finish him off, but he does manage to get the Gecko, the Kaid of Gecko, off the board completely. So that's, again, you don't have to worry about that DMR shotgun anymore. That is a big hit.
Yeah, it's invaluable actually.
To the defensive team on this.
With the hatch now being open, he might also be doing something pretty interestingly. Hawks. Does he want to open up some more floor, or does he want to peek through the hatch? Dio has gotten the kill on Nitro, so any and all push, horizontally speaking, is not going to be shut down. But Resolve is here to just pick up the, well, where his allies left off. Exum kind of knows that. He's playing off the time. Does not shy away from conceding, say, space, falling back in the name of gaining time. But switching guns as you were, it turns out to be a mistake. It's now a 2v. Wow, Peeps is not dead. He's going to be so lit. 2v2, but it can really easily become a 2v1 situation.
Peeps, one health in a dream. Going to be trying to hold down. Going to try and hold down tunnel, and he's going to try and hold down blue hallway. He's in charge of both these sections, and it does look like you have attackers coming from both directions. So this will be very difficult for him. They do know where he's at. One vague breath of a bullet going by his head, and he's going to die. He does hear somebody drop, though. Wiz is able to finally take out next time.
And now that's going to be resolved in a 1v2 situation.
Yeah.
Resolve still doesn't know that he's like right here. One bullet, but you know, same thing for the shotgun. One bullet, he's gone, but that's going to be SMG11 going to get the kill. Yeah, not even Wiz got the kill.
Yeah, Wiz saved his life, but again, it didn't look like...
he stole that kill.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he saved the life. He stole the kill.
I don't know, because it didn't look like Smoke was able to hit any of the shots, but at the same time, it didn't look like Thermite was hitting any of the shots either. So... I'm not too sure at that point. I think Wiz was just kind of, you know, he was just covering his teammate. He knew his teammate was low. He did the right thing. I wouldn't say that's teammate at that point. Pete Silva. Like I said, one health in a dream, did very good. Didn't really move. He did a job of, okay, he knows I'm here. I'm literally just going to waste his time because he knows that I'm here. I'm not going to push him. And that was just kind of playing on the mind of Resolved. So therefore he was, you know, he had this idea of like, oh, I have no idea what kind of health this guy's at. I know he's somebody over here, and I have Wiz down at 90, and it's just one of those things where, like, you know, Peeps really couldn't have done too much that round if he did peek it. So good on him. It's a smart play on his part.
So we're back on a 2-2 situation. Both teams are at an equilibrium, and both teams basically show that they're on an equal footing with their opponents. And as such, it might just end up being such an amazing game like the one we saw previously. But I would truthfully have to say that these teams are on a higher level than either Sky's Phoenix or Surf. Sorry.
Yeah. Now, no discredit to Phoenix or Surf. They're both very good teams from the looks of it. I was very impressed by both of them. But these guys are just playing at a very, very different state, different level. Meaning, as we see here, we have Rip TP. They are super aggressive, constantly going for those quick peaks, quick gunfights. And again, PMDR is right there with them, not being as aggressive, but at the same time being very precise with the gunfights, knowing when to be super quick and be very, very aggro, but also knowing when to be very passive. So again, these teams are reading each other very well, and we can both, as you say, tell that they are on a very different level of skill base, or of skill.
So apparently Firemeister knows that there's somebody roaming, or he has really an entire.
Does he know somebody's roaming, or is he just doing something that Ash does?
Probably. There's a drone. There's a drone ahead of him. That's Silhouette. I can't. Yeah, right here. Resolve is running in front of him, but he's not running in the right direction. As Dio here is basically behind the strip club. He's not gonna be spotting Ash. He's out of range. He's even going for the run on. He's not actually trying to roam. He's trying to run out, but that's just not going to prove any successful. And Firemeister now getting the first kill, first blood on Exum. Dio is presumably going to try to get the refrag. Currently, he kind of knows that Ash is not in that direction. Once again, there's absolutely no drone. Ash turns around, gets the flick shot. I did not expect that to happen. Firemeister really low, but what really matters at the end of the day is that he's alive and Dio isn't.
Yeah, Firemeister saying goodnight in chat. Unfortunately, the UMP of Dio let him down there. The fire rate just not as good as the R4C. So again, if he had maybe a few extra rounds coming out of that gun, he probably would have finished off that Ash, no problem. But very nice flick coming from Firemeister. It does look like Frag getting rains are going out, trying to push back any sort of Kaid trick or any sort of push to prevent Thermite busting through a wall, as he does. But smokes are going to go out, and it will delay for an extra 30 seconds with 1:30 left. But as I say that, Firemeister just whiz. So it's down to a 5v2. Drones are going to come out and they're going to let us know where Peeps is at. So Peeps has a very tall task ahead of him. Not able to hit his shots, just missing the head of the Thermite. And as I say that, he gets his head taken clean off. So it is literally just down to Gecko. And
that Volt
pops through the window and gets taken care of. And very, very decisive win for Rip TP round.
Yeah, it was too late. I kind of feel like it's somewhat that's been happening time and time again, or at least it's not a novelty, that the last guy alive is on the catwalk in the garage, and there's just no way to get the control back of the bomb site once you're in the garage. It's gonna be that angle is gonna be watched from so many different positions, and you can only aim at one direction at a time. So in a 1v3 and a 1v4 situation, when your movements are so limited and thus so predictable, it was just too late. There was nothing you could do in that situation. The mistakes have been committed previously, and it was just, the culmination of those errors.
Yeah, it was a culmination of many things. I think just Rip TP is just a super aggressive team, and if PMDR, again, they're doing very good at combating, going back and forth, but I think Rip TP is just, if they are let to their own devices of the way they're playing now, this might... Our PMDR might only get 2 kills or 2 rounds this entire game.
That sixth round, actually, it's the last round before the world swap, before say how do we say mid-March?
But no, yeah, 100%. But look, yeah, even with that, even with the roll swap, I still think Rip TP is going to be a very aggressive defensive team. They're going to be playing these areas that are just. They're going to be waiting on people. They're going to be heavy roaming. There's going to be even like very aggressive angles being held by anchors. Like, I just think that Rip TP is going to be, from looking at this, is just going to be doing everything in their power to get this. They want this game, and they want it to be done 10 minutes ago. From the looks of it. That's how they're pushing, and that's how they're playing.
So what I wanted to underline by saying we're going for the last round for the very first time in bedroom, it's kind of that Pomidor were not really in a position to win their rounds if they're going in their tertiary site for the last round before the world swap, and it's not even because they're forced to go there. Apparently they're kind of saying, okay, it's CCTV doesn't work too well, church doesn't work too great either, so let's see what else do we got, and the answer seems to be bedroom. Let's see if it's gonna work. Apparently Thermite is gonna lose his first charge. Is it gonna work his second time? There's no whatchamacallit, Zofia in the composition that can kind of force Wiz out of his planting animation. And as such, he might be in a bad position. Firemeister not getting... I thought he was going to open up that castle barricade. But as such, as long as Wiz is still up and as long as that castle barricade is still intact, he can be a real pain. His resolve is going to plant it for real. He will, and that's going to be hard breaching capabilities. Not exactly gone, sorry. But yeah, NXT probably wants to use his X-Kairos to open up CCTV wall, assuming they're going for the standard push. And as such, bedroom should be somewhat easier to defend as it now stands.
Yeah, Gecko though going in the first kill of the round, able to take out finally taking out that Hawks of the Buck. I wasn't able to read it in time, but does take out the Buck, so good kill on him. But as I say, that Firemeister being very aggressive, being a very thorough roam clearing device. But Gecko with the refrag onto resolves. So we will see again. That would have been a good spot to see possibly like a Kali. That would have been actually like probably like the perfect spot for Kali. But Nitro and Firemeister again 2 quick kills, so it is just down to Gecko and Exum. So we'll see how these guys hold up against these very aggressive RIP TP team. Now, as we see here though, we do have Exum is going to be stuck downstairs. Does make his presence known. They know exactly where it is because of that barbed wire. Does finally finish off the Ashe though. The Ashe has done so much work at this point, so her role is up anyways. But just like that, Gecko and Exum do hold out, and they actually win it back. So when we go into the switch, it's going to a 3v3 or a 3-3.
Yep.
So
3-3 situation could have been better, could have been worse, but you know, strictly speaking, it speaks of equal teams. However, so on that map, we've had this discussion on Border previously on Clubhouse. Do you think the attack or the defense is favored?
It's tough to say. I know it used to be very defensive favored, but like since their buff, it has leaned towards the attacker side, but not a lot. I wouldn't say it's overpowered in one way or another for them, but I do believe it leans to the attacking side, just with the long corridors. With the way the soft surfaces work, in my opinion, I believe it's a little bit more attacker side.
So working off of... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, since the buff. Since the buff, it's been a little bit more attacker sided.
All right. So, assuming this is an attack sided map, and going off of what you just said, with Wegetfirstrounded being able to keep it, or Pomidor actually when they were defending, being able to keep it 3-3, would you agree into extrapolating off of the fact that it's supposedly favoring the attack, and yet the defense were able to keep it even, that Pomidor might just be the better team here? You know, kind of like betting the outcome.
100%. Now, with that being said, though, I do believe that there were some tricky mistakes, or I meant to say that's a tricky play, and I meant to say not tricky mistakes. They did have some little mistakes that were made. For example, as we saw there, the defensive side completely shut down any sort of push they were trying to go through on Hot Tub Balcony, and unfortunately, they didn't have a contingency plan. Their contingency plan was, let's just push them as fast as we can with Firemeister, and then we might win.
Hey, if they did, they're not going to contest the plant of the diffuser.
Gecko with a quick kill onto Firemeister, speak of the devil, able to take out that roam clear. And now it looks like PMDR are just doing exactly what TP did, and they're just going like 100 miles an hour. But yeah, I believe that there was a couple of mistakes being made, and now, as we see here, that was just a poor roam coming from Firemeister, and now PMDR can easily punish them. They have the upper hand, and they have the firepower.
Let me just ask you a question real quick. What's the point in planting the Electro Claw under that table here? Because, you know, if it was to be under the hatch, it would be untouchable. There's no Thatcher involved. And, you know, granted, it's going to be, like, difficult to find. But still, it is, technically speaking, vulnerable to bullets. Whereas having it under the hatch would be impervious to gunfire.
Yeah, so it's... Obviously, like you just said, with Thatcher on board, it's literally just down to what utility you use to clear it. So some teams might just throw a grenade around there. They know it's somewhere vaguely where it is. If you're running an IQ, of course, it just makes it trickier for her to find. Although when she uses her scanner, she's going to see, okay, it's right over here. But if she's taken off the board and you have another, somebody else come up to that hatch and they're trying to figure out how they can get the electro claw off, it's just you're wasting time at that point. You're literally just wasting time because they don't know where it's at. And you've basically made it so that hatch is inaccessible without wasting a bunch of time. So teams are just going to bypass it and go somewhere else. You're just trying to funnel them to this hallway, as you can see here, to blue hallway.
Speaking of which, it seems to be working perfectly. The attackers are all pushing from that direction. Peeps is going dirt tunnel. He's been shut down since, and it seems to be working more or less. Grand Exum gets the kill here, but still, we're not seeing any specifically made progress. So blue is still in control of Wegetfirstrounded. Let's see if they're capable of getting any further, or if a defender can just keep up the slack and prevent the attackers from going any further. So you can see here next to with the cross angles trying to do something tricky, not finding anybody. You know, the wall bangs are gonna put a pause to the attackers. Exum with a nice, you know, roam. He went back upstairs, getting the kill off of the verticality. He's bound to be distracting the attackers. That enables Wiz to get on site, but he's now the last operator alive. He gets the kill right here. Nicely done. He might even have an opening to plants. Now 1v1 situation. Nitro is too far away, does not hear the plant happening. He's thus not going to contest it. It's going to come down to a 1v1 with the advantage of Wiz, since he's not going to have a defended role.
Yeah, but he knows exactly where he's at, and he's got his ACOG pointed right at where this rotation spot's going to be. This is literally just down to 1v1 though, so it's just down to who wins their gunfight. Just picks him up, a nice shot coming from Wiz, able to hit him through that little keg. And wow, watch this little fleck. It's I would have missed the shot completely. Boom, head's gone. And
yeah, he shot
just
it
like
from under
that,
the barrel.
Shot right underneath that barrel. That's a great little spot, but most people would, you know, not even think to look there, which happens. We're going to go to a little bit of a rehost though. We do have to bring somebody back in. I can't remember who left.
It was Dio, I believe. No, Dio was just left. It was somebody on the orange team.
So yeah, we did lose somebody though, so we will just go for a quick rehost. So bear with us in the meantime. But these are very interesting games. The attack seems to be playing super aggressive, and defense is being super passive, which again they should be. We did see the Rip TP have a very good plan of bringing them back down to blue hallway, as mentioned before. It's just because that one Caillou charge. It just makes it, like, granted, it can be dealt with, but again, they probably just weren't wanting to deal with that. Push them down to blue hallway, win your gunfights. It did seem like they got a little bit more aggressive as time went on, though. Unnecessarily aggressive. We saw the smoke push out, trying to get rid of the thermite, and unfortunately got his head taken off, where he could have probably rotated back into church and just held them off that way. You would have that 1v1 could have just stayed as like a 2v1, and that would have been a little bit easier situation for them to be in. And again, I just feel like there's little mistakes being made that shouldn't be, especially with when it comes down to the last, I don't know, minute of the round. People are getting a little bit kill hungry rather than holding a post or rotating back or anything like that. So I'm very interested to see if PMDR are going to be kind of like punishing Rip TP now that were so aggressive in the first half.
So here's also the thing. A rehost is going to kill possibly the momentum that either team might have had, and it just so happens that PMDR won the 2 last rounds. You know, we saw that, and actually at 6 Invitational where we met. I don't really remember which game was rehosted, but the team that was winning just lost their momentum totally, just shut it down entirely, and as such, the losing team started just winning their points back. So that's
SSG and it was
BDS.
BDS. Yes, it was. Yes. That was exactly what it was. It was SSG and BDS, because SSG was losing badly, and there was a rehost. There was a rehost. And then all of a sudden, BDM just kind of stopped doing the exact things that was helping them win, and Space Station Gaming was just, I don't know, just winning these gunfights. Just had a reinvigoration of their play style, and they just kind of had a second wind. And then they won the Invitational. So,
and the rest is history.
And the rest is history. So, a little break can go a long way. It lets you talk to your teammates. It lets you go, hey, like, this is what we're doing wrong. Like, because in game you have 10 seconds, 20 seconds to tell your team, hey, this is what's going wrong. We got to do this, blah, 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 blah. Whereas when you have like a minute to 2 minutes to say, hey, okay, I'm noticing you're doing this. We're going to switch roles, and we're going to do this. You know, like, it works on both sides. But when you're down, it definitely feels like that can be the make or break. If you have a good IGL, that can definitely help your team just pick up, and the rest will be history at that point.
So apparently Exam does not understand why we're resuming 4-3. Like, he's on the team that ended up winning the last point, wasn't he? Or am I wrong? The church defense, was it successful?
The church defense was not successful.
Was not successful. Okay, yeah. So even though Pomidor were down a man, they won, and now why would you be complaining about being up a point? I'm confused, but yeah, like I was saying, we're resuming in the game chat. I was saying we're resuming 4-3, and Exam on the winning team says, for real? Like, am I missing something? Did I mess up or goof up on a setting somewhere?
No, you everything seems to be good.
That's the thing. You always have to be like double and triple checking whenever you're doing a rehost or when you're even starting the game up, because in case of a simple, calculation error or lapse in concentration and focus, we're down for another rehost just because I goof up, which is something you don't want to be doing.
Exactly, right? And that's not, teams might get a little upset at that, but no, everything seems to be good. Like, they did win the last round. Maybe he thought they lost. Again, he could be.
Maybe he's the one that lost the connection. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So, I think it's just maybe him a little confused, not remembering that they won. Stuff happens, right? Like, but everything seems to be good. 3-4. That's exactly where we're at. It was the first round after the switch. So, as we know, though, as we do see, though, we have Firemeister on the Vigil. Again, Firemeister is kind of like their main roam aggressive player.
Yeah, he is.
With him seeing on Ash. And,
Hawks isn't sitting on side either, and he seems to be basically the first line of defense, considering the attackers are entering through the garage. Oh, and Dio is also playing Kali here. That's going to be... no, not Kali. I'm dumb. It's Wiz playing Kali. Nonetheless, Hawks' position seems to be known. At the very least, if it wasn't, now it's absolutely going to be. His position is going to be compromised. He's bound to be pushed, and as such, he will have to, fall back, concede ground, lose control of the map in order to basically stay alive. But that's also going to be bringing him closer to Firemeister, so his flank might more or less be watched. As I speak, however, Firemeister is kind of abandoning him, and Hawks is in a dead end. His only way out is the door. Should the door be watched, he would be done for, and that might just be why he was asking for an impact nade. He now has a way out. He yet remains to be pushed on the left side, though. Will he get the flick shot? He does not. He will try again. Gets the kill, jumps down, but will be picked up immediately by Hibana, who apparently failed to realize that Firemeister is in the area as well. So refrag might now be really possible. The joining game will have some difficulties in pinpointing his position. After all, he's playing Vigil.
Yep. So he gets pushed back into Strip Club, and he's kind of locked into this place. They know exactly where he's at now, and it'll just be a matter of if they can push him at the same time, and they might lose a body, but if they can get him off the board, that's going to be a big pick for them, because they won't have to worry about him in the late round. Minute 20 though, so they do have to do it fairly quick. They might just be leaving him, so therefore he will have to come back, but they'll most likely will have somebody watch.
Oh, that's why they're bringing Kali. Because now there's next to no way to counter, or, you cannot kite tricks the way you can bandit tricks. So Hibana is now, or rather, Hibana or Thermite, depending, is now at odds of opening Moto, actually. But nobody's holding Moto. If you look at the defenders,
yeah,
like, the attackers could just drop down here. Resolve is more playing, by the blue than by bar. Or by church, should I say. Yep. But as I say, this Firemeister is fleshed out.
Yeah, XM does finally take him out, and it brings us to a 4v3 with, yes, we do have Wiz on Kali, who is basically in charge of getting rid of any of those Kaye charges. She will also probably be holding from blue. We also do have a Kali, though, who's going to, a Kaid, who's going to be holding from tunnel. So it will be tricky. It will be a very eventful push once it starts happening, though. Everybody's just trying to get into their positions. We will see, though, the Legion is prepping as well. He knows somebody's going to be coming around there. Angle's coming out, and Dio able to take out Nexum with a quick one, but Necktie is going to be able to take out Wiz and rotate around. Not able to hit his shots, and that was going to be a tough battle, but Dio bringing PDMR one step closer to finishing off Rip TP.
Absolutely. When you do see such an even-sided game, neither team being able to absolutely dominate his opponents, whenever I see 5-point situation, I always think it can be over really quickly because you don't really expect 2 points to be won by either team in a row. But should it happen, the game would be over without us even realizing it happened.
Yeah. Now, I need to ask you a question. You've been asking me questions. Now it's your turn. Kali,
Yes.
do you feel like she's a good fit? We just saw her implemented quite well. Do you think there's other things in this map or on this particular map where she might be suited to a different role, like a better role?
So I feel like her balancing kind of makes it so that she's a poor fragger. You know, her gadget basically forces her into a long-range role. You know, she's not going to be a point man first into action kind of operator. You cannot actually actively peek an angle with Kali. Yet, this is basically the close quarter game, the only one out there, right? So I feel like you're playing Kali for utility first and foremost. Her gun is rarely going to win firefights, except if you're already holding an angle, which the attackers, by virtue of their role, are not supposed to be doing too often. As such, you're kind of losing firepower in exchange of the guarantee of opening up a reinforced wall. You know, like if she shoots at that wall, there's nothing Nixie can do about it. He can only pick up the batteries and save it. Oh, Firemaster going for a run-out spawn kill. Apparently that does not work out whatsoever, and that would have been Wiz's time to shine.
Yeah. So this is exactly where I was thinking she was going to shine. With that angle right there, she can deny so much. But I think she's going to be rotating. Yeah, she is going to be getting a little bit closer, which I don't think she has to with a 12 times scope. But I think she's just trying to find that bandit charge. So the thing with Kali is she's now like a hard counter to bandit. She's basically taking over the role for Maverick.
But what I don't like is just like Maverick, she does not have a counter to her. You know, it's supposed to be a glorified rock and paper scissor. Every playstyle has its counter and every playstyle counters another. Both Maverick and Kali have next to nothing that you can do about them. Bandit can pick up his batteries, but you know, keep taking the gadget out of the equation is not really a nice way of countering another one.
Yeah. Now, granted, I think the counter to her is more or less win gunfights. It's not a very solid counter, but for example, as you can see here, defense is taking out almost everybody. So PMDR is at the disadvantage, and it's literally down to Thermite to win these gunfights. Kali cannot
gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah, Wiz cannot do it unless he's getting the jump on somebody. So
he might just get it right here, however.
Yeah. Well, since they changed the bottom of those
oh my god.
bars, he's not able to. Oh, he's.
Oh, he barely missed resolve. Oh.
Is he
resolve? No, however. He's so exposed, he does not even realize. But Wiz does know that he's no longer right on the corner on the left side. He's not going to see it. You know, that's exactly Kali's weakness. That's going to be an easy death for her. Peeps now in a 1v effectively 4 situation. Now down with 1v3. The flick shot almost happens, but that's not going to be enough. Wegetfirstrounded are not going to lose, or are not going to have the gap between the two teams getting bigger any longer, winning another round, and thus shrinking.
Yes.
Said gap. I kind of just rambled there. Wow, I haven't been casting in English for a long time.
It was a very, that was a very descriptive way of saying that they lost.
Yeah.
But no, that's fine. We did see there Kali, she could have used her secondary there. I think she would have had the jump. It was a little bit longer than she needed to be, but yeah, that's her counter. Her counter is she's not able to be a very strong team player. She's a very independent player. Yes, she can deny the bandit charges. Yes, she can deny Kaid charges. But at the same time, it's always going to be a 4v5 pushing into sight. She's always going to be further back. And if your team's not winning those gunfights, then it's just down to her. And with a bolt-action sniper rifle, that's a hard thing to do. So I feel like having a hard counter for her is not necessary. Having everybody is her counter because you can out gunfight her. That's a big enough counter for me, at least.
Kind of like Pulse, basically.
Kind of, yeah.
You cannot counter the cardiac sensor. You know, he's going to see you no matter, except if he gets caught in an EMP at the wrong time when the sensor's out, but that barely if ever happens. The thing, however, is some defenses entirely hinge on keeping a reinforced wall secure, you know?
Yes.
And as such, I find that Kali is a bit dangerous to those situations, but at the same time, exactly like you said, it's not gonna. You open up the wall. All right, what's next? Pushing in, but your push is gonna be disadvantaged because you're now in a 4v5 situation. Exactly.
Yeah. Now,
That's
Pulse
entirely
does have a few other hard counters though. IQ, Thatcher, as well as so things like that. And same thing with I would say Dogeby's a little bit of a counter too, because then you know he's roughly where he's at. But yeah, so
Well,
like
looking at it this way, Dokubi's a counter to everybody.
that's true. Dokkaebi is the ultimate counter. But we did see here though, Gecko almost lost his life to the run out of Firemeister. If I'm not mistaken, Firemeister or Hawks. I'm not too sure exactly
Probably
who
Hawks.
it was. But Gecko now at a severe disadvantage, although now Hawks does get droned out. He's going to rotate back to site though. And Dio is going to be in hot pursuit of them, trying to push him down here through blue. They do hear the goo mine go off. They will be slowly peeking. And as you see here, we do have Mute is trying to get a good idea of what he's dealing with. He does only see the Zofia of Dio is pushing down here, so he doesn't need to be too aggressive. That is
that
a
angle
very...
almost got the kill. Resolve kind of peeked where he didn't exactly have to. Could have been dangerous because you don't expect Resolve to acquire his target at the time they would take Dio to get the kill. And as such, he's kind of stuck behind that, I don't know, cooler machine type thingy. In the meantime, you know, it's a stagnating situation. And in the long run, if Dio doesn't push up, if nobody dies, Wegetfirstrounded is going to win the round. So it's really up to Dio to do something to find a way to clear Resolve out of here. But so far, I don't see him bringing anything. You could argue that his presence is kind of distracting the defenders, kind of spreading them thin and enabling the attackers to push up from another side. And Dio's presence might just be a bluff or a distraction.
Yeah.
But
well, it is, but at the same time, there's also no pressure coming from Dio. Dio's not.
Yeah.
He knows that they know he's there, but at the same time, they're also being like, okay, well, Dio's there. There's no threat. Like he's not doing anything to really like. If he was chucking charges at them and you know constantly trying to shoot at them, like it'd be totally different. As I said, though, Firemeister had 2 very quick kills on the peaks. And as I say that though, Necktie is able to take out Dio. So Dio to no avail. Again, they just were not too worried about him. They did have another man watching him. And just like that though, we have Mozzie. He's going to be taking out Gecko. Firemeister doing work with that, and again with the Kali not able to win these gunfights by herself.
This is exactly where Kali gets balanced. I mean, we were talking about it, but she does not win any firefights, even though they were lined up. A triple kill could have been maybe possible, but even then, Kali wasn't gonna do it, and Buck was in a 1v basically 4 situation. And I'm not exactly sure who that was. Was it Firemeister laying prone in dirt tunnel? Got the kill?
Yeah.
Proning down. When there's no cover, proning down is the new meta, I swear.
It's always been the meta.
It's always been, but you know, ever since drop shot has been nerfed, it's been so much more prevalent.
Yes. Drop shotting, and I've noticed a lot of the bullet hole peaks are
as well.
Yeah.
Just like impact tricks, you know, it's the kind of things that's been in the game since the very beginning, but we just found out about them recently as a community.
Yeah, and things like that are really cool, especially when you find out but like an operator that they can do this, a certain trick, or yeah, like you said, the impact tricks or anything like that. It's really interesting to see, but at the same time, like some of them are a little busted, like the bullet hole peaks. I kind of don't like those because there's really zero way to really counter it. Bullet holes are really hard to find, and some maps actually have bullet holes already in the walls.
Sure.
They're not necessarily soft walls, but just regular walls. So you can get confused of thinking like, oh hey, like this is just a regular part of this map, and then you get shot through it where he has a clear sight on you and you don't have a clear sight on him. So something like that I feel can be changed possibly in the future, but. All in all, though, it is really interesting to see when there's like these cool little tricks that help defense or help attack forward and around.
Like, once again, if I was just to keep on focusing my attention on the impact tricks thingy, it's been technically possible ever since the grenades were introduced. I want to say like year 1 and year 2 in, but we've just found out about them, you know, at most a year ago. And that just makes me think, how many other nifty tricks are in the game? that we as a community don't know yet about. Like, how much more is there for us to find out about the game? It's just amazing. Just the sheer amount of content that's in there, you know?
Yeah, well, all the hidden secrets that we don't know about.
Absolutely. So Hibana is bound to open this up. No, it is actually jammed by mute. Wow. Okay, so that's kind of... But, you know, that jammer was pretty easy to destroy. I hear a nitro cell being prepared. You yet have to open up that. Well, Exam could be, you know, vulnerable to that opening, but that's going to be Peeps getting the kill on Hawks. However, Exam yet has to put actual pressure. Oh, where was he running from? That was just Firemeister walking back up the stairs. How was he able to get up here without the attackers knowing about him? Wow.
There's no drone or no eyes on any sort of rotates down there, so they had no idea that he was even coming from that way. So unfortunately, a little bit of a misplay, not able to have any sort of flank route or flank control. So right now they will be with a man down, and it is Ash, so it is Exum. So that's a pretty important operator that you have off the board. But as they push into the bar, they do down Dio. And that is another person that they have to now pick up. It does look like, though, Dio is going to go for the self-revive, but to no avail. Firemeister's going to take off, but Gecko going off with the refrag. So it is still a 3v3 at this point. The attackers are having some trouble now with Firemeister being able to rotate so freely between bomb site and pool table. And we do have Gecko down there. Just watching a flank, making sure that somebody's there. Does finally put a drone down for a flank watch, though.
No defender is at the bottom staircase, at the bottom floor anymore. So basically, Gecko's positioning is pretty much useless. And as such, Peeps is going to find himself in a temporary 1v3 situation. He will get the kill. He's pretty low, however. Next time he gets a bullet, he's going to be dead and down for good. Let's just make sure for his sake that doesn't happen. Gecko, on the other hand, is ready to just funnel in here through bedroom hallway. Yeah, bathroom, gym, one or the other. He's not in a 1v2 situation. He's still got all of his health, one grenade, and not too much time. His insertion here was not known. He gets the first kill. Firemeister now will have to either get the kill or play for time. Diffuser is not in Gecko's favor. He does not have it. He goes for the kill. That does not work. We get first rounded. He's going to win round 11. And that's not going to be a match point situation for them.
So almost a very nice comeback coming from Gecko, but Firemeister is able to shut him down. Again, the only thing I noticed that was the big issue there was the lack of any sort of like sight on flanks. Nobody was watching anything behind them. The attacking team was just moving forward. So I feel like that was probably the only slip up that the attacking team had there. If they were able to have some sort of presence, somebody watching, they didn't have to have the Ash droning. You need somebody to drone for the Ash. So having somebody watching that for her, that could have been the game breaker right there. So I believe that first kill was the deciding factor. That it was so close at the end.
Indeed. So now we get first rounded, are in a match point situation, and as such, Pomidor are going to be finding themselves with their backs against the wall. Any and all mistakes now is going to prove fatal to them. And I already see one thing, without even seeing, you know, the preparation or the actual execution. I see one thing that's kind of worrying to me. Wiz is going to be playing Kali again, and we've seen just how much Kali, or how difficult it is for Kali to do anything other than opening up the first wall. Like, can you cite a single round where Kali was present and Pomidor ended up winning the round? From the top of my head, I cannot.
No, there wasn't
their
one.
backs against the wall. There was not a single one. Considering their backs against the wall, that might just be a mistake that's already made, and it might just already be over.
Yeah, now he could pull a Fiki and do something we've never seen with Kali. But yeah, like, it's a very interesting play. And you are sacrificing a little bit of utility to make sure that you can bring this Kali that hasn't been very useful. So it is a very interesting pick. I wouldn't say it's a great pick, but it is challenging to push the Bandit here without the Kali, or at least maybe some sort of presence underneath, and sacrificing an operator knowing how aggressive they are. But we will have the Bandit going in, and Kali will be putting a Claymore down, so therefore, again, a little bit of flank watch. They're learning a little bit. She will have to use another one of her charges, though.
And Bandit absolutely just picks it up. He loses another Battery?
Bandit.
That's his last battery, though. And no, that's going to be a mistake on his part. And as such, the insurance first wall is going to be open. It just goes to show that the Bandit tricksing, you know, back and forth play, dance type thingy that you have with Bandit is still going to be possible with Wiz playing Kali. Just going to make it, you know, it's just going to have a level of subtlety and complexity to the game. It's not, however, impossible. However, numbers-wise, this is looking good for the defenders. We have, I believe, it is resolved on the top here on the catwalk. He's still locking down Garage, denying any and all entry. Though Resolve is pretty lit, pretty low at this point. He's still going strong. He's inflicting a lot of damage on Gecko and not receiving too much in return. And Doc, you know, is right around the corner. He might heal him pretty quickly as soon as you have the line of sight, which will not happen as Buck. Oh, he gets picked up at the very same time. Wow.
He's at the exact same amount of health he went over there with, but
he is not any better off. He's been down 2, and Nitro still has 2 stem shots, so he could heal his ally. But you know, that's gonna be Kali getting, I believe, her first kill with the sniper rifle, and now she has one of those long lines of sights where she's good at.
yeah. Although this is a tricky angle just because of the way that everything's laid out. She does finally take out that shield though, so now she does have a little bit clearer sight. But underneath, we do have the Nitro going to pre-place, prepping for that plant. But we have Nextai has to keep keeps his life intact to make sure he can use it. Doesn't look like there's any presence underneath, and somebody might say blow it right about now.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
no.
it was in the wrong spot. So Kali will continue to plant. He's going to go uncontested. Does manage to almost get her life taken away though, and just like that though, next time does take out one Nitro with another one to Wiz. Is still down to 2v1. They will know he's around here though. They see the rappel.
It's not looking too great, to be honest. There's a Claymore right there. They're running right here. Doc is not. He's gonna get the kill.
Defender is exposed.
And I believe I've heard the Nitro cell blow up, but are they gonna be able to secure the diffuser? Yeah, obviously. There's still lots of time. So that's gonna be a GG. We get first round. He's gonna win that map. And was that a semi-final? I don't think it is quite yet. So they're gonna go in the semis. I
Defender
believe.
mission successful.
Nice try though from PMDR, and again, very solid match or plays coming from them. Just weren't able to edge it out. Rip TP was just, again, they're very aggressive as mentioned. Just being a little bit more aggressive on the gunfights and winning them. That's the main thing, is they were winning their gunfights a little bit more than PMDR.
Indeed, it was not a semi-final. So we get first rounded by winning this is gonna go into the semi. And if I was to make a prediction, the team they're gonna go up against is about the same skill level as Surf and Phoenix. And as such, I think their chances of getting into the actual final are looking pretty good. Oh, shoot. They have not won 7 maps to 4. They have won 1-0 with 7 points to not 4 but 5. Right? There you go. Okay. So here's my question to you: how long did you want to keep on casting tonight? Like, do you want to cast the next map, or did you plan on leaving?
Attackers are activating.
How many more games do we got?
So there's still semi and grand final. Everything's BO1.
So 2 more maps.
2 more maps. Yeah.
2 more maps. I might sit up this next one, but I'll come back for the final.
Amazing. So yeah, I'm looking at the games here. Just to switch teams. You know, because it's a bit of a challenge to sync up the games, since there's another game that's apparently has barely just finished its map ban. I would cast